Hey everybody, I figured we might as well make bread since I can't do anything on the internet because it's out. Usually it doesn't go out this much, but for some reason we had this influx of people who decided they wanted to move into my hometown. And now you've got, what do you call it, building people, making, building places for them to live. Let's pull this off so we don't have to play around with it. I'm going to get one of those chutes that fits on there so I don't end up with flour all over the place, which I have before, so no big deal. But I added some ingredients. If you look on my past videos, you will see that when the bread was in these, it might have been puffed up, but after it started cooking, it leveled down. Well, I did some experimenting, and I came up with something that actually worked. Oh, let's see the water temperature. Right now it's at about 128. You wanted it about 110, but with all the spinning around and such, it's going to cool down to about 110. So, that was 2 cups of hot water. Now we're going to go with a half a cup of plain white sugar. Last time I threw this everywhere, just doing that. We're not going to do that this time. Okay. Now we're going to bring this down. And you're going to see why I said that it would cool off. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see if we're cool enough. I'm always cool, man. And we're down to 103, so we're good. Okay, now we're going to add the active dry yeast. There's 1 tablespoonful, and I could eyeball it, or because it calls, you do it for a 1.5. So we're going to go half of a tablespoon. There's 1 teaspoon, and a half. Now we got 1.5 tablespoons. What we're going to do, I think you're really going to like all this. We're going to mix it up. Okay, that mixed up your yeast with your sugar water. I'm just going to scrape this down. This is just me. You don't have to do this, but hey. This little yeast needs some food too, huh? So I just do this. Okay. It tastes like a very sweet beer. Now then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it for about 5 minutes or so, and we're going to let it get proofed really good. It's going to start foaming all over the top, and then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. And then after we add the rest of the ingredients, we're going to make the dough, and then we're going to put it in the bread pans, and we're going to let it rise. Well, we're going to let it rise in that other pan over there first, to where it doubles in size, about an hour, and then we're going to add. We're going to pull it out of the oven, and I'll walk y'all through this, because before we put it in that bowl over there, we're actually going to add some oil, some cooking oil, about 1/4 cup, and we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt to it. And then we're going to add some ingredients that I figured out myself. I'm not sure which one helps it, but it tastes really good with both of them. So, it's up to you whether you want to use them or not. Because just remember, I'm above 5,000 feet, so you have to bake different up here. Okay, so we're going to see y'all back in about 5 minutes, and I'll change some things here because I need to pull out my flour, and I'm just using regular all-purpose flour. And I'm going to use about 6 cups. You can use 5 to 6 cups. You decide on that. But then we'll use the baking pans, which are 9x5s, and then we'll bake. And you will see the top come out just perfect. Okay, we'll see y'all in about 5 minutes or so. Don't go by that clock. It doesn't work right. Okay, see you in about 5 minutes. Okay, so we're back. And it has frothed up. So the yeast has proofed. And it smells a little bit like a beer. Okay, now to add the other ingredients, which is actually, I only added 2 different ingredients to this, and it came out just perfect. Okay, we're going to get some oil, regular vegetable oil, and use a 1/4 cup of it. Dump it right there in the middle. It's kind of cool because if you listen real close, you can hear the yeast sizzle when you drop that oil. It's not hot oil, it's normal, just normal oil. Okay, we're gonna put that back. Now we're gonna see if I can find the salt, which is right here. We're gonna add 1½ teaspoons of it. One and a half, so in other words, 1/2 tablespoon and a half. Okay? Now then comes my secret ingredients. Actually, there are no secrets. I just decided to try them to see if it would work. And it did work. Okay? So what we're going to use is 1 tablespoon. I like to hear it ding. Of instant, non-fat, dry milk. I use this in my fry bread too. So did my grandmother. Because she said when they give out the rations and stuff, nobody liked the taste of dried milk, but they didn't want to throw it away, so they incorporated it in recipes. And then something else, vital wheat gluten. I don't know how it affects you guys that are against gluten, but hey. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of it. And put it back. And now, here comes the fun part. And I'm going to put the dough hook on at this time, because everything else is pretty much set. We're going to start mixing it. to do is with mine, so I don't blow stuff all over the place. It will anyway, but we'll put in the flour. Yep, I'm just putting it all in all at once. 2, because I know how much mine can take. And this mixer has been a dream. 3. Got little kids, have them count with me. There's 4. These are leveled 5. 6. Okay. And drop this down in there. And you're going to see how perfect this forms a dough ball and just comes all together. Or it did last time I did it. And here goes the pop. Now we're going to turn it up. Can I say rock the stove? Rock the stove. And instead of coating it with more oil, I'm going to use some liquid oil. Now you want this to go at least 7 minutes. And I'm sure you don't want to watch for 7 minutes. I don't know, maybe you do. But you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's forming a nice ball. Okay. I just love this fan mixer. The dough's not climbing or anything. So I'm going to see you back in about another 5 minutes. Okay, and we're back. Also, one other thing I noticed, when I do that, the dough doesn't stick to the dough hook, which is like a blessing. I mean, look at that. I mean, you got a little bit, but not like it used to be. Now we're going to break this loose, okay? And we're going to pour it, or attempt to pour it, into the littler one. Just kind of wiggle it around until it breaks free and pour it right in there. Okay, take my oil spray. Almost look like we're going to flip that over just to get the oil all over it. Now you can use less oil if you want, or you can oil the bottom of the pan. That's up to you. Okay? Now, we're going to take this cling wrap, okay? We're going to hit it lightly with oil, because if you don't, your dough is going to stick to it. We're going to cover it. Now, we have the oven light going, okay? And that's what we're going to use to heat this with, okay? Just the oven light right now. And we're going to put this in there for 1 hour. And you want to make sure that your cling wrap is not stuck underneath it or anything, because you do want it to be able to rise over, if that makes any sense. Okay. Now here we go again. I will see y'all back in about 1 hour. Okay, and we are back. It's been an hour. I shouldn't be showing that, but hey, if you can look down in there and see. See, it's way over the top. Okay, that's the first rising. We're going to take it out. And this is where your kids can have fun and punch it down. Or you can punch it down. Think about your boss or whoever. I'm joking. Okay, now we're going to turn it out. Now we're going to knead it. And this is important. This step is important. You're going to knead it for about at least a minute. Now, if you notice, let me make sure y'all can see this. Yeah, y'all can see it. I've cleaned my stand mixer and already put it up. Hey, I'm on a roll. That's how easy this is. Now, put that like that. Now my son, he took a couple of culinary classes, and they teach him when you use that to look away. I guess because of the fluorocarbons or whatever it is that's in there. Now, we just split it as evenly as we could. And we're just kind of just rolling it. We're going to drop it in there. Same thing to this bad boy here. I'm just kind of pushing these out to where they'll kind of fill up the pan. Okay, now comes the fun part. It's all fun to me, but it'll be the last time you pull it out until it's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these. Notice I didn't spray anything on top. If you used cling wrap again for the second rising, you'll want to spray something on the top or put oil or anything. I'm not even doing that. Okay, so what do we do now? I've still got the oven light going, so that gives it just enough heat for it to work. And we're going to let it get at least an inch, but I'm hoping it'll go higher than an inch. And if you see it's still rising, let it rise. Should take about 35 minutes. Should take about 35 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll see how it looks. And if it's ready, all we're going to do is we're going to peek like this. And that's it. We're not taking them out. We don't want them to fall, okay? So we will see y'all back in about 35 minutes. Okay? Talk to you then. Okay, we're back. Now that took 45 minutes. I don't know if y'all can see this. It took 45 minutes for it to get up that high. Now that's probably because it's cool, or actually it's 66 degrees. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of 57 degrees.
Okay, so it's 65 degrees. So, it took an extra 10 minutes. Now, we're just going to turn on the oven. And we're just going to let it go for about 35 to 40 minutes. And by that time, cross your fingers. I hope it to be puffed up and looking nice, and we'll get back to you then, okay? Talk to you then. Bye. Okay, we are back. One of these days I got to break out my new oven mitts. Only had them a year. I am not joking. It's about time I toss these things. They're still good. If you're wondering about the bread, you're going to see it now. Now then, to tell if they're done or not, okay? Is your bread done in the middle? Sometimes people accuse me of my bread not being done in the middle. Never mind, that's a bad joke. Okay, so you want it at about 200 in the middle. And as you can see, it's above 200, so let's try this one. Yep. So we're done. Now, we're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes before dumping it out of the pans. Okay? And because you want it to tighten up. If you don't, you're going to have some goo in the bottom of the pan, and the bread's not going to look nice on the bottom or anything else. Now I've got it sitting on this rack here, and that's helping it cool all the way around. Okay, so in about 10 minutes, I'll come back and I'll dump them for you, and you will see. See how pretty that is? Doesn't it look pretty? Okay, talk to you in about 10 minutes. And we're back. It's been about 10 minutes. Let's pop these out. Oh, and by the way, I got my new hot gloves out. Only had them a year. Never used them. I keep using the old ones just because I'm used to them. Come back here, you. Don't be running off. I'm going to set those right there like that. I'm going to get used to these new ones. Now see that spray, that spray works really good. Easy cleanup and everything. Oh, here, take a look. That look pretty? It might help. Used to when I would cook for other people who were not as how you put it, not as lucky as me, I guess you'd say, or whatever. They were on hard times or whatever. I would cook double Thanksgiving, and take half, take some to them. Why not? It's okay. Make me feel good. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I kept forgetting to hit cancel and turn off the oven. And the next day I'd walk in and I'd be like, whoa, that thing's been going all night. My electric bill's going to be through the roof. And it was. Because it was on for the turkey. So anyway. Okay, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you'll try it. And those two ingredients, you can get the instant non-fat dry milk almost any store. Ask them for it, and you can get the vital wheat gluten off of Amazon. And it's not much, but most places don't carry it anymore because most people don't make bread anymore. I don't know why. That's so lovely. It's getting cool. to where I can slide one in. I keep all my, or I used to keep all my, what do you call it, bread bags, and I still got them. So, and those fit, believe it or not, in the bread bags, or close to it. If that doesn't work, I get a 2-pound Ziploc and put them in. Anyway, for those of you who's had problems with your bread falling at the top, I hope this helps you out. And I'm glad it worked out for me this time too, because last time was just trial, just to see if I could keep it up. You know, I was like tired of it. And I've made so much bread here, and like I say, we're up in the mountains now. Now I can make it down in Tucson right and left, no problem. And even in Arkansas, I could make it no problem. Got up here, and cakes were falling, but I got my cakes under control. It was just the bread that I was disappointed in, because it looked like the square bread pan. No nice edge or no nice top or anything. I was disappointed all the time. And then I sat there and I says, okay, wait a minute. And I did get a bread machine, but I prefer not, you know. It was making bread, and I noticed that it was making square at the bottom, but they wouldn't fit in my bread bags. But the tops were like this, nice and fluffy, and I says, what's making those do that? And this is how I figured it out. And it had a tablespoonful of instant dry milk, non-fat, and a tablespoon of wheat gluten. And I thought, I wonder if one of those does it. Now, one of them's doing it. Could be both. But I'm not going to change the recipe, because it actually does taste good like it is. And right now you can put some butter on it, or slice it down the middle and put butter in it and let it melt down in there. Whatever you want to do. You can throw some garlic in there. Anyway, it made it fluffy on top. So, like I say, I hope this helps you out. And once those get dry and get firm and cool, I'll put them in bread bags and put them in my freezer. Okay? Remember, it's your kitchen. You own it. Make it and own it. Be proud of it. And if you're in a warm place, go swimming. Better do it quick too, because it's starting to cool off. And if you're not in a warm place, find a warm place to go swimming. If you can't find a warm place to go swimming, find someone to snuggle up with. Okay, y'all stay safe, and we will see y'all again soon. Bye.